Live from the Ball State News Center, this is NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Good evening and welcome to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Brenton Roy.
And I'm Felicia Donaldson. Thanks for joining us.
According to the FBI, the number of Americans buying guns continues to set new records. Students and experts at Ball State discuss the regulations of those sales in the community. NewsLink Indiana's Casey Miller has the story.
As more people purchase guns, the debate about gun control rages on. Ball State Center for Peace and Conflict Studies hosted faculty and students today to talk about gun ownership. Some students at the panel expressed their desire to be able to carry handguns on campus. Police Chief James Duckham says current precautions already in place, like these emergency call lights, are enough to keep students safe.
And that's my job, to protect the Ball State community, to provide for students, faculty, staff, and I'm not convinced that having guns on campus would do that.
Ball State does not allow guns on campus. Jeff Burke owns McGalliard Guns in Muncie. He says concealed carry should be allowed anywhere as long as gun owners are safe.
We're more about responsible carry. If you're going to carry that gun, be responsible, go out and practice, know that firearm, know your weapon, know how to shoot the gun, how to clean the gun, et cetera, et cetera.
Duckham says today's panel is a great opportunity to exchange ideas. Political science professor Sally Jo Vasico thinks the argument is all about how you phrase it.
I think the disconnect sometimes goes back to vocabulary that we use. You use the word control, and everybody bristles because it has a connotation to it.
All parties seem to agree on one thing: gun owners need to be responsible. In Muncie, Casey Miller, NewsLink, Indiana.
The Center for Peace and Conflict Studies hopes to continue the conversation on gun ownership in the coming weeks.
The death of an Illinois police officer has been ruled a suicide. The news comes after an extensive investigation into Lieutenant Joe Glinowick's final moments. Stacy Cohen has the story.
It's stunning news for the small town of Fox Lake, Illinois. Police say revered Lieutenant John Glinowitz committed suicide.
Glinowitz committed the ultimate betrayal to the citizens he served and the entire law enforcement community.
It's been 2 months since the 52-year-old officer was discovered dead, shot twice with his own gun. 3 people appeared on a surveillance video near the crime scene. A manhunt for perpetrators ensued. Investigators now say the scene was staged. But why? Falenko says the 30-year veteran of the police department was stealing money from a police mentoring program for young people with an interest in law enforcement.
Thousands of dollars were used by Glinowitz for personal purchases, travel expenses, mortgage payments, personal gym memberships, adult websites.
Officer Glinowitz had experience staging crime scenes for the police mentoring program. In this case, they say he aimed his gun at himself, firing not once but twice. The second shot ended his life. The results of the investigation are likely to change his legacy. I'm Stacy Cohen reporting.
According to the British government, a Russian jet that crashed over Egypt's Sinai Desert may have been brought down by a bomb. A military aerospace expert with the International Institute for Strategic Studies in London says that it is too soon to say for sure the cause of the crash, but the suspicion of an explosive device used has risen. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi insists that the security situation in the Sinai Peninsula was under full control. He says the claims by the Islamic State group that it downed the plane were propaganda aimed at damaging Egypt's image. Flights are now suspended to and from the Sinai Peninsula as a precaution.
Governor Mike Pence has seen his approval rating drop below 50% this year, according to the 2015 Wish TV Ball State Hoosier survey. Governor Pence started 2015 on a high, leading to speculation that he may run for president. However, the Religious Freedom Restoration Act and the national attention it received changed the fortunes of the Pence administration. The Hoosier survey shows just 47% of Indiana residents approve of Governor Pence's performance. Now, I have to ask, why did you participate in No Shave November when it's 70 degrees outside?
Well, I was anticipating those colder November temperatures, but I'm not really complaining. But with me and Adam with beards on the set, now we have some double stubble trouble. Adam, can you tell us how long the nice weather is going to last for?
Yeah, that's right. I've been growing out my beard myself just because I was anticipating some cooler weather, but today we got up to a high of 74 degrees, which is well above average. Just in the past 14 hours, we saw a lot of sun and then some clouds at the end of the day, which has been helping to this warmer weather, as well as some other factors as well, but it has been well above normal for this time of year. Just right now in Muncie, we're still pretty mild at 63, mostly cloudy skies, and a light wind out of the south-southeast at 6 miles an hour, which could cause some fog later tonight, and I'll talk about that coming up, as well as some more rain chances. Right now, looking at the satellite radar, we are clear, just some scattered clouds throughout the region, but off to our southwest is what's going to be our next rainmaker. We have all this rain out here as well as snow for much of this region, and this is a lot of the first seasonal snow we have seen for much of the U.S. Luckily, the snow's not going to get us, but the rain will. And so coming up, I'll talk about when that rain will arrive as well as some cooler temperatures. But first, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Adam. A 6-year-old suspended at recess. His parents say he was shooting an imaginary bow and arrow. The school didn't comment on the punishment. TJ Parker reports.
I don't see anything wrong with the way he was playing.
Matthew Mealy and his wife Martha got an unusual call saying their 6-year-old son would need to serve a 3-day suspension for playing with a pretend bow and arrow at recess.
My son has never had a discipline problem.
Matthew says his son was outside playing when a teacher saw what he was doing. She then brought it to the principal's attention. That's when Matthew's son was called to the principal's office.
He told the principal what he does is that I shot a bow and arrow. Was the sound effects he provided to it, and he returned to class that day.
He returned to class, but not for long. Matthew says the school has a zero-tolerance policy towards any type of threatening gestures.
The punishment is so severe in this, it's hard as a parent to try and make this a teachable moment for our kid so that we can move forward in a healthy manner.
Matthew says this should be a learning experience for the school. He says a 6-year-old playing around with his friends is healthy. In no way did he have any malicious intent. Matthew and his wife say they'll keep him at Our Lady of Lourdes for now, but they're debating on whether or not they'll keep him there next year.
It's going to be very hard for the school to convince us to keep him in the school.
The Indiana State Board of Education has delayed approval on sweeping reforms of the Indiana high school diplomas. Instead, the board decided to give the changes another month of review before voting on approval. Supporters of the proposal believe it properly increases academic rigor, noting their support for students taking more courses, especially in math. Opponents feel the increased course load would limit opportunities for school activities. State Schools Chief Glenda Ritz will head a committee to work through the finer points of the proposal.
When NewsLink Indiana returns, how will students handle crowded buses this winter?
And international cuisine find its way to the Student Center, coming up next.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. With winter right around the corner, Ball State buses are about to get really crowded. What do students think about the increase in bus traffic? NewsLink Eli Voiles reports.
It's officially fall weather here at Ball State, and fall weather means there's cooler weather coming. And when there's cooler weather, students tend to take the buses more. So I went on campus to see what Ball State students think of Ball State buses.
Yes, a lot. Probably 15-minute wait, 15 to 20-minute wait.
The buses are more crowded during the winter because people don't want to be cold walking around, so they choose the bus.
I don't think they need more buses. Actually, they don't really need them. I think that's just more of a, everyone can wait a little bit. You don't have to have your bus have.
The 5 to 10 minute wait will cost you though. Ball State students pay $100 a year in transportation fees.
Ball State students continue to pay for transportation fees, but little has changed over the years minus repairs. For NewsLink Indiana, I'm Eli Boyles.
It is recommended that students allow an extra 5 to 10 minutes if they plan to ride the buses to class once the snow starts falling.
The Amazing Taste is back this year at the L.A. Pinninger Student Center tomorrow from 5 to 8 p.m. There will be food and performances from several different countries. Kelsey Dickinson has the story.
Flags from all over the world lined the walls of the Ball State Student Center in preparation for an intercultural experience for the community. International Student Advisor for the Rinker Center, Bridget Anthrop, tells us more about the Amazing Taste.
We have both informational, cultural kind of displays that students set up booths and tables and they can talk about their home country and their music and their fashion or whatever they want. And then we actually have performances. So we do what we call a culture show, and it starts at 6 this year. But it's a combination of dances, musical performances, and fashion. It's places that you'll probably never be able to go travel in your life, but now you get to see a small piece of it here in Muncie.
The Amazing Taste combined with another cultural event called the International Festival about 5 years ago. This year, the Amazing Taste will be hosting 20 different cultures for people to see. Anthrop says that cultural awareness is the goal of this event.
Really, it's a great chance for our students just to show off what makes them unique and what's cool about their home countries. And it's a great chance for Americans to be exposed to that. There are a lot of people in Indiana, in Muncie, who've never had the chance to travel and may not have a chance to travel.
In Muncie, I'm Kelsey Dickinson, NewsLink, Indiana.
For students with a meal plan, it will cost the regular $8.20, and anybody else who does not have a current meal plan will be charged $8.95.
Have you ever wanted to start a business but didn't know how? Innovation Connector is an organization in Muncie that can give you all the information you might need. Britton Carlin has more on the story.
Hi, and welcome to our wonderful facility. Here at the Innovation Connector, we have a very unique opportunity and responsibility to our community. We're located at the corner of White River Boulevard and Jackson Street, here in Muncie, right near downtown and very close to Ball State. The Innovation Connector is a unique organization because we're an organization that helps other businesses start, grow, and then actually mature outside of the Innovation Connector.
After talking to Ted Baker, the Executive Director of Innovation Connector, I found out about some events they have going on at their organization. Something that they have is called Muncie Young Professionals. This is an organization for new incoming business people.
You see, we're the Innovation Connector. Innovation is a really cool word. People love that word. But one thing that we do very well is connect people to the right resources. And so that's where the connector comes in.
If you're starting a business or you would just like to learn more about Innovation Connector, you can go to their website, innovationconnector.com. From NewsLink Indiana, I'm Brittany Carlin.
For more information about Innovation Connector, you can call their office at 765-285-4900.
When NewsLink Indiana returns, see how long the nice weather will last.
And when the colder weather will hit. Your full weather forecast is next.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I don't know about you, Felicia, but I cannot wait until we get our first snow. But with how it's been lately, I don't know when that could be.
Look, now we have all of December, January, February, and half of March for snow. Adam, how long can we appreciate this abnormal weather?
For a little while longer. I mean, we've just these past few days, we've seen well above average temperatures. Just today, like I said, Muncie got up to 74, but we weren't even the hottest around Indiana. Both Fort Wayne and Indianapolis got up to 76. Even Shelbyville got up to 78 degrees today, which is right near our record temperatures for today. We were just shy of 2 degrees of our record high set in 1987. But also, if you notice, our low forecasted for tonight is still above our average high for this time of year. And we've seen that the past couple days as well. And much of the eastern half of the United States has seen above average temperatures from the south warming up north. Now out west, they have been seeing more seasonable weather for fall into winter. which has been causing them to get a lot of the first seasonal snow for many of the mountainous regions out there. For instance, Flagstaff has seen the first seasonal snow of the year, but luckily that snow will not move in Thursday when we do have this rain chance coming in the evening. Now this rain will be scattered throughout the evening into tonight, but as that front comes through Friday morning, that's when we'll see more of that rain. And then by later Friday morning into the afternoon, we'll start to see it clear out behind this front as it moves off to the east coast. And we'll actually see some sunny conditions. However, it will be a little bit chillier, which I'll talk about in a little bit. For tonight, we are forecasting a low of 57 that I was talking about earlier, with these light winds out of the south around 3 to 6 miles an hour. Now with these two combination, that's when we can get the light patchy fog later tonight into tomorrow morning. And this will continue for most of the morning. However, around 9 a.m., however, it will start to clear out with temperature around 59. Moving along to around 3 p.m., it will be mostly cloudy around that time with a high of 70 degrees tomorrow. And unfortunately, that will be the last day of 70s, but it will be pretty decent. But for the rest of the night, it will be very mild like again tonight, except we will have that scattered rain chance that I was talking about earlier start to move in. And then for your 7-day forecast, we're going to see that scattered rain in the early Friday morning and then start to clear up. Only a high of 63, but then look at that low temperature of 39. That's when we start to see that cool down after the cold front. So we will see sunny skies, but our temperatures are going to be in the lower 50s. And then for the start of the next work week and school week, we're going to warm up a little bit, but it's not going to be the same 70 degrees that we've seen. And our next rain chance we will see around Wednesday.
I can't say I'm looking forward to that rain. Coming up in sports news, Yorktown Volleyball prepares for their state championship game.
And the Delta Eagles will play for a sectional title this Friday.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Josh Shelton with sports. After a
The Lady
successful
Tigers have
season,
spent their week
Yorktown's
preparing.
volleyball team will play for the state title on Saturday. NewsLink Indiana reporter Aaliyah English spoke to the team about their journey.
The Lady Tigers have spent their week preparing for their state matchup against Province. Junior Olivia Reed said for her, making it to the state game is a dream come true.
This might be like one of the biggest moments of my life so far, I guess. I don't know. Just because it's always been such a big deal. I've always looked up to the girls who are playing in the state championship because I've always gone to it. And me and the girls that I've been playing with since I started volleyball, we've always talked about one day maybe we can make it to the state championship. So it's kind of crazy to think that we are going to win, and it's surreal. It doesn't feel real yet.
Through all the excitement, freshman Kinsey Knuckles says the team has found a creative way to overcome the pregame jitters.
Throughout the season, we made raps. Okay, and one of our players, Ryan Neal, she has this rap that she does during the huddle every time we go through, and basically just gets all the jitters out, and we just play like we know how, so that's good.
All jokes aside, head coach Stephanie Bloom says she is proud of her team and what they have accomplished this season.
We would love to see our kids get to have a state championship for all the hard work and all the time that they've invested, and I think also for the type of kids that they are. It's just not always true in life that good people get good things, and so I would love to see them be rewarded for their character and who they are on and off the floor.
The Lady Tigers are scheduled to play Province for the state title Saturday in Worthern Arena. In Muncie, Aaliyah English, NewsLink, Indiana.
Wapahani High School is also vying for a state championship as they take on the Speedway Sparkplugs this Saturday at 1 p.m. for the 2A title. Moving on now to high school football. The high school football season has ended for some teams, but the Delta Eagles season is building to an exciting finale. The Eagles are ready to fight for Pendleton Heights Arabians for the second time this season. Coming into the game, Delta is 8-3 with one of their victories, a 28-20 win in the middle of the season against the Arabians. Pendleton Heights has cruised through the playoffs, scoring over 40 points in each of their last 2 games. Delta recovered from a near loss 2 weeks ago and blew out Newcastle 49-7 and hopes to ride that momentum into the finals. Delta and Pendleton Heights square off under the lights this Friday. And over in Indianapolis, the Pacers lead the Celtics 98-93. Hopefully, the blue and gold can pull out a win tonight after they started the season 1-3.
After the break, hear about a new theme park designed after a popular movie trilogy.
And get updates of the Country Music Awards. Your entertainment news is next.
Indiana, I'm Brian Beam and this is your entertainment news. Have you ever watched the Hunger Games movies and thought, wow, I wish I could be there right now? Me either, but in just a few years you will be able to experience all of the wonders of Panem without any of the danger. That's right, developers recently announced there will be a Hunger Games theme park in Atlanta, Georgia by the year 2019. The park will recreate District 12, where Katniss grew up, a roller coaster simulating the high-speed train from the movies, a hovercraft tour of Panem, as well as costumed characters and much, much more. Happy Hunger Games, and may the odds be ever in your favor. While many fans are still heartbroken over the split between former celebrity power couple Blake Shelton and Miranda Lambert, Blake doesn't seem too caught up in it. The country music star was spotted backstage on The Voice, showing a bit of PDA with fellow coach Gwen Stefani. Despite divorcing just over 3 months ago, news of the newly surfaced couple doesn't seem to faze Miranda Lambert. Shelton and Lambert have made it clear that there is no bad blood between them, and Blake even went so far to say that they are good buddies. Speaking of and that's all for our entertainment news. Back to you.
Thank you, Brian.
So, can you tell us when we can finally have that sweater weather?
Yeah, we've been warm recently, but we will have a cool down coming up. Like I talked about, we're going to have some rain move in Thursday night into Friday morning, which will cool it down. And one thing to note is that Thursday night into Friday, it will be pretty windy and gusty those days, so you might want to bear down and not carry an umbrella, or it might get blown away. You might want to wear a rain jacket. On the weekend, though, however, it will see a cool down with some sunny conditions persisting. And then by the end of the work week, next week, we could see some rain by Wednesday.
Thanks, Adam. That's all for tonight's NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 6 p.m. live on livestream.com or at 9 p.m. right here on Cardinal Vision.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a good night.